Good evening, everybody. Come on in. Welcome to our June meeting 2026 for the Black and Global Business Network. We are streaming live on all social media platforms, in addition to our call here tonight. So come on in and join us. I am Melissa Muhammad. I'm the founder and CEO of the Black and Global Business Network. We are an international business development firm, and we help Black-owned businesses to access government resources to scale their business around the world. And tonight we have, when I tell you, a spot on, fantastic, phenomenal businesswoman, business person in general. We're very happy to have Stacy Mollison on tonight. Hi, Stacy. How are you?
Good night, Melissa. I'm excited to be here. How are you?
I am awesome, awesome. So we believe in starting on time, and so we're going to get started. And for those of you who are going to get the replay, you'll have an opportunity to hear from Stacy if you're not able to join us as well. But I want to tell you a little bit about Stacy and tell you how I met her. And then Stacy's going to talk to us tonight about AI or gone, AI and global or gone. And Stacy's going to give us two presentations for this month and next month because she is when I tell you she's a huge voice in the international business space, she is somebody that you really want to connect to. So Stacy is the founder and president and CEO of Libra Management Group. It's a global strategic sourcing and consulting firm established in 2006. So she's been doing this for quite a while, and she has operations both here and in the US. And Stacy does a lot of government contracting. And the way that I met Stacy was at a conference, and she told me, okay, Melissa, you got to do you got to do government contracting. And I was like, oh, Stacy, that's so complicated. It's so challenging. And she's like, listen, take 6 months to 1 year of your life. Just take 6 months to 1 year of your life. Do all of the paperwork. And I promise you, you will make millions of dollars. She told me how she built, when I tell you she doesn't gatekeep, she told me how she did it, how she designed it. And I literally came back home and did everything you said did, Stacy. And we got our certification. So thanks to you, Black and Global, we have our certifications. So I can tell you firsthand, she will help you grow in your business. So Stacy does a lot of work in Guyana, and she's from Guyana. And Stacy is she attends a lot of events worldwide, like the events between collaborations between the US and Africa. She attends those conferences. She's a guest speaker at a lot of different events. And Stacy was on the Atlanta's list of 40s of who's who, right, for businesses. So she is very well known in Atlanta and in the international business development space. So Stacy, welcome to the Black and Global Business Network.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Melissa. I'm so proud to hear that. Wow. Yeah. So tonight I'm just gonna have a real life conversation with your group
Mm-hmm.
just about how we make a real serious paradigm shift into two things that I think are really what we call trending right now, which is AI for business productivity and how do we really launch our business into an international market. I think if you're not really focused on those two things, that you're really doing you and your business a disservice. And so my goal is to consistently make sure that I'm teaching entrepreneurs how to always be able to adapt and to adjust to the market conditions. And where we are in the marketplace right now, things are kind of topsy-turvy in the US. And now I say to people, I'm glad it is. I
Mm-hmm.
really am, to be honest. And the reason I'm really glad it is because I think for the first time, we as a people are really looking at how we can strategically change our business to be able to adapt and to adjust to real change in the marketplace, right? I also come from a real estate background, so I'm used to what they call a cyclical business environment where we're always having to look at when the market goes down and how we find other ways to sustain our businesses. And I think that with the current climate in the United States, we have no other choice but to really look at strategic business sustainability option methods and ways that we can really fortify our businesses across a wide range of challenges. So I'm going to talk about how did I do that and how we're teaching people to do that. So Melissa know me from the government contracting space, and everyone knows that government contracting right now is a challenge. And I was an 8A contractor, and so we know that really the powers that be are really trying to just get rid of the 8A program. They consider the 8A program to really be affirmative action for businesses in the government space. And so it has gone the way of the DER program across government and government efficiency and DOGE and all those things. The 8A kind of got lumped in with all of that. And there's just a serious attack against that program. So what do we do? And I think now we have the opportunity, and that's why I love just hearing and engaging with your group, because I think for a long time, Melissa, you have been saying that. And I know for you, finally, you're seeing a lot of traction with your businesses, that
Mhm.
people are really starting to get serious about looking at the global marketplace. No
Mhm.
longer is business so limited. We have to realize now that the global marketplace is shrinking. And if we don't get our businesses prepared to really operate in a global space, that we limit the kind of capital we can bring into our business, and we limit the opportunities to grow and expand outside of the United States. So I love what you're doing with Black and Global Business Network. And so I'll talk a little bit about how I started to transition. So once we recognized that really government was going to slow down, I really decided to make a strategic plan to shift my business into full-time into the global marketplace. So Melissa knows that I was born in Guyana, South America, and Guyana had this magical thing that happened about in 2015, right? It's 11 years now, where we discovered the largest find of oil anywhere in the Western Hemisphere in the last 100 years. Fast forward to 11 years later, in 2019, we sold our first barrel of crude oil, and Guyana is now the fastest growing economy in the entire world. We have had some amazing changes in our country. Our GDP continues to grow, and the vast amount of opportunities, not just in the oil and gas sector, because yes, we found oil, but the non-oil sectors are growing as well. And so so I almost look at it as there's an opportunity for me now to shift all the information that I've learned servicing the United States government into a whole new market that I can leverage all those skills and all the information I've gathered. So we kind of duplicated our business. So Libra Management Group is our professional services business where we do management and consulting, training, and technical support services to small organizations and government. So we kind of duplicated that business in Guyana as a professional and technical support service organization, but now focused on the oil and gas industry and the government of Guyana and private sector. And then we also, I for the last 20 years have owned a real estate company, and looking at how Guyana was changing I also looked at what other opportunities existed. And what I recognized that the fastest growing non-oil sector was infrastructure development, the real estate and development side of the business. So I created a full service real estate advisory, development, business, and procurement. So we're doing both real estate builds, we're doing real estate advisory services, and we're also doing construction materials procurement. And so I created Guyana Property Solutions. And so I have six brothers, three of whom are engineers, two civil engineers, one geotechnical. So we formed a real estate and development firm, and we started going after projects. We've done road contracts. We just finished building our own personal building, which is our headquarters, our office that we built ourselves. We just had on last Friday our actual pre-launch and dedication of that building. And we've built out, thank you, we've built out an actual storefront that is a showroom where we were able to get a contract with the paint manufacturing firm out of the United States, contract with a flooring distribution firm out of the United States, and
Wow.
several other things where we literally have a store that we're selling and procuring construction materials because we saw a need in the marketplace. So I'm telling you, I'm saying this to say to you that you really just have to think through what are things that you already know. That's what I call within your circle of influence that you can leverage in a different economy to look at opportunities. So that's what we've been doing on the business side of things. And right now, as we speak, and I was telling Melissa and Miracle this, I'm literally sitting in an Airbnb in Suriname. And some of you probably have never heard of Suriname. Suriname is the country right next door to Guyana, South America. It's a country in South America, right in between Brazil and Venezuela, are what they call the Guyanas, which is three countries that make up the Guyana. So there's the what they used to be known as British Guyana, which is the Guyana I'm from. And then there is what's the Dutch Guyana, which is now renamed Suriname. And then there's French Guyana, which is still owned and controlled by
Mhm.
France, right? And those make up the three Guyanas. And these three countries, which each has my country, Guyana, has about 800,000 people. Suriname has about 570,000 people, and then French Guyana. So these three countries, what's amazing is that Suriname and Guyana are in what's called the Amazon basin. And so in that basin, which is where Venezuela is as well, with the largest oil reserves, is a oil-rich basin. So Suriname just discovered oil last year, and they're coming on stream in 2028. And yesterday, the president, I'm here at SEOX, which is the Suriname Energy and Gas and Oil Conference. The president of Suriname just announced that they hit another well. So
Wow.
wow. So you guys are hearing information that 99% of this world don't even know is happening. So this Western Hemisphere is quickly becoming one of the fastest growing oil regions. And so you guys need to pay attention. So everything that's happening in terms of growth and expansion in Guyana will be duplicated in Suriname. So we're considered first movers. So I literally am here. I just collected my business documents where I set up my company. Me and my business partner, we just set up our company here in Suriname, and we're looking at real estate here in Suriname. And so we're ahead because the first oil is not scheduled to be pumped out of that ground until 2028. It's a perfect time to start looking at the opportunities here. I mean, the oil and gas conference is amazing. It's huge. So there's so much happening. If you and listen, guys, it's right in your back door. Let me explain this to you. When I say to people, I'm from Guyana, South America, I hear all kind of things. Oh, you're from Africa. Yes. No, I'm in Guyana, South America, right below Trinidad, right between Brazil and Venezuela. It's a 4.5 hour flight from Miami and 5 hours direct from New York. You could come through Panama, Trinidad, Barbados, wherever. It's right in our back door, people. I run back and forth to Miami over the weekend. It's that close. And I want people, we're not far shore, we're near shore. We're considered near shore. We're right here. And most people don't even know what's happening. So I am so pleased to have the opportunity to spread the word, and that Melissa has given me a chance to really talk about how there's opportunities all around us, all across the Caribbean. And so please take a look, pay attention, start looking, start coming. I'm actually hosting a huge conference in March 2027 that I've told Melissa I'd love to see her network participate, where we're going to be having you guys come. We'll spend a few days really just learning about how to do business in Guyana, traveling. I have a bus tour traveling around Guyana. So I look forward to that. So and there's so many opportunities. As we talk and I get more engaged with this group, I'll show y'all how to access opportunities. We have a portal where you can go and you can see all the opportunities. ExxonMobil, who's the main driller here, has 25 prime contractors. Listen, guys, this is not a little oil, right? They have five what we call FPSOs, floating vessels. ExxonMobil just announced that they made 983 billion with a billion dollars in profit off of this find. Guyana is ExxonMobil's largest investment anywhere in the world. We produce up to 900,000 barrels of oil daily.
Wow.
It's not a little bit of oil, it's a lot of oil. And so, and they tell us we need 2 million people to come into this country to support what has to happen over the next 15 and 20 years. So there's a lot. And then when we go across the Suriname, it's the same exact thing. So I think there's a lot of business in this region for literally for the next 20 to 30 years.
So
Okay.
Stacy, if I can add, so we went to Suriname in I want to say 2024, 2023. So we participated in a conference with Canto, which is the Caribbean Association of National Telecom Operators, and it was the same thing. They had not found oil to the degree that they had now, but when I tell you that they were looking for everything from real estate, places for people to live, to transportation, to sheets, light bulbs, pillowcases for hotels. Hotels were being built. I mean, just so many opportunities. I just wanted to, verify what you're saying is so, so true in terms of the medical hospitals, the hospital supplies that are needed, even down to hospital masks, I mean, gowns. There were so many things that were needed because the region was experiencing so much influx or pressure because there are foreigners, Americans that are coming over to work and bringing their families. And many of these groups, they have to have different type of services. American schools needing American teachers. I mean, it was just it was quite incredible to see how much opportunity was there. So I'm really happy that you're having a summit there so that our businesses can come into the region and get someone who actually knows Suriname and that you have worked there for quite a bit of time. So we definitely will be working with you and having our businesses to prepare themselves to be able to come and lock into the opportunities.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be doing 4 countries. So the main conference, very much like how we do it with U.S. Commercial Service. So the
Hmm.
main conference will be hosted in Guyana, and then we move to Suriname, Grenada, and then we end in Jamaica. So it'll be 4 different countries that we'll be doing over a 2-week period in March of 2027. So you guys will hear more about that. Any questions about what I've said so far before we move on to talk about AI?
How do you spell Serenard? Serenard?
Suriname, like Suriname. Suriname. Okay. Any other questions? Either about Suriname or Guyana, either one. I'm between both. I live in Guyana now. I'm full-time in Guyana, and then I come back and forth to Suriname to do business. So I'm literally round robin between the United States, Guyana, and Suriname.
Well, here's a business question, if I may,
Mhm.
because I like what you're saying about the expansion and potential. And one of the things that I think that a lot of African Americans have going for them is the ability to cooperate or form coalitions of businessmen and women. And I was wondering about, I mean, here you would need like an LLC with with, and I hope, Melissa, I'm not stepping on your toes here,
Oh
but
no, you're fine. You're
you know
fine.
you need LLC and you need to, like you said, all the paperwork. What kinds of cooperative structure, based on what you know now and based on where the development is going, would you think, say, a few African Americans that got together and pooled their resources, what kind of organizational structure would they be needing to think about?
I think, well, in this part of the region, they're really in corporations, right? So here, like let's say in Guyana, it's only really 2 structures. Is what's called a business incorporation and a business registration. A business registration is more like a sole proprietorship where you're really doing that under your name and you're really functioning. They give you something called a tint certificate, a tax ID number. And if you get a personal tint, if you do a business registration, it's just like a sole proprietorship. You using your social security number, you will operate it. And they don't really consider that like full business. So I tell people, don't even waste your time doing that because full incorporation, which is a full business incorporation in Guyana, is what's required. In Suriname, it's called an NV. And so they have 2 options where you can create a foundation and then just establish a business NV. But both have very strict local content laws specifying that it's really important that you either partner in Guyana specifically, you need to partner with a local firm. That's why I made sure I set up my local firm so people coming in, they can work with me or I can identify other people they can work with. Even with oil and gas, forget it. With oil and gas, you must partner with a local firm to do it. They won't even look at you if you submit as a foreign country because they're mandated by the Guyanese government that they give extra points to support local content. So you'll find a lot of, and the local content laws in Guyana are very strict. They have a local content secretariat set up and they supply local content certificates and they require that you look at partnering with local firms. And those are the kinds of things we'll be talking about at the conference. We'll actually have people, and this is not my first one. I do these conferences consistently, and we we bring in like folks from the local content secretariat. So I have a wide array of government representation at the conference. And Suriname the same, they have local content rules and laws. Any other questions?
So, Stacey, talk about how are you able to manage life in 3 countries as a business owner?
The great thing is I'm not alone, and I have both a staff and supporting partners. I'm sitting here today. I'm literally here in Suriname with 2 partners, and I love this story because both of these partners I met just like you through government working with them. They're both 8A firms that we work together in government and just knew, liked each other doing business. And when folks hear that I'm here, just like you, Melissa, I'm here doing stuff, folks reach out and say, hey, I'm really interested in looking at an opportunity. Look, and I brought them into Guyana. I'm like, girls, let's go to Suriname. And they were kind enough to say, let's, and I'm doing business with both of them in Guyana. One of them already in Suriname and looking to encourage the other one to do business in Suriname as well. And I think it's been a lot of fun. It's been fascinating. I'm just so proud that I feel like Black folks are finally like paying attention and looking outside of just the very limited space that we have in America. I love doing business in America. I've learned so much, but I think that we really got to do better of looking for opportunities outside as well. And so for me, I think it's really important that you have a strong team, your support team in the US. I have a strong team on the ground in Guyana as well. And then we're now setting up shop in Suriname, looking at partners and things. But we've been doing this for a while. So I've been traveling, Melissa knows, even before I came back to Guyana, I have been going. I tell people I used to come to Guyana for every 2 months for 2 weeks. And now I'm in Guyana and travel to the States every 2 months for 2 weeks. So I flipped the script. So yeah, I think it's important that you absolutely find a trusted partner on the ground. I would not advise people to just come into a country they know nothing about. They don't have a trusted partner on the ground and they're out there doing business and they get scammed or, suckered in some way.
Yeah. And then oil, I mean, given what's happening in the Middle East and all of the pressures that are there, I mean, you're talking about the opportunity to get in on the ground floor because nearshoring, you're here in the Western Hemisphere and you're able to get in on the ground level. And Stacey, what we always stress to people is don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out because you don't know. It's a conversation with Stacey. She's going to give us like I said, a presentation if you're late coming. So Stacey is the president, founder, and CEO of Libra Management, and Stacey's going to talk to us this month and next month, and she's helping us with AI and global, or you're gone. And so it is so key, Stacey, that we stress to our businesses, you don't know what's going to happen in America. You literally, if there's no other uncertain time in history, now is that time. But why wait for things to get worse when you can build a footprint in another country and you have partners and relationships like Libra Management, like us, that can help you to open those kinds of doors. So even if you get in on the ground floor, especially, as a side business or collateral business to the oil and gas industry, it's a fantastic time for you just to explore what's possible and build out a 3 to 5 year plan. This is not a short-term business, right, Stacey? It's lucrative.
Right. Absolutely not. And I think it's important that people really think about, here's what I say to people. When you come to these developing countries, right? Because Guyana is now a developing nation. Um, Everything that you find as a complaint is an opportunity. I tell people, don't even get pissed off. You're not in America. It's not a first world. We're now quickly, we're jumping. We're jumping from third world to first world quickly because it's just such a massive amount of oil. And Guyana, it absolutely will be. We went all the way to the top of the food chain in the Caribbean. We're part of CARICOM, and we were at the bottom of the food chain in terms of GDP wealth. And there's only one country, Trinidad is the only country, just think about it, Guyana in 5 years jumped up to number 2 in GDP
Wow.
wealth, and we're about to overtake Trinidad and will be the richest country in the Caribbean in literally 5 years, right?
Mhm.
And by year 6 and 7, we will be the richest country in the Caribbean. And so I'm saying to people, we don't have enough. We have a serious workforce issue. We have a labor issue. We have the access issue to quality services. And so everything that you come here and you see as a problem is an opportunity. Think about your experiences in a first world country and then come here with that lens on. Oh, they don't have this. Oh, they don't even have like real dry cleaners. Oh, they don't have what? They don't have enough. This is how I saw it. We got it, and I'll be honest with you. We had a road project. My brother's our construction company. We had a road project in an area that was like about an hour and a half outside of the main town. And we were doing the road project, and almost everything that I had to get for the road project, down to the speed bumps to put on the road, I had to drive and get a delivery an hour and a half in town to get it. And I literally turned to my brothers and said, we need to open a building material store because this is crazy. Like they don't have this and they don't have that. And we need to open a store that provides quality, right? The access, right? And the reliability, because half the time, something as simple as cement, they will be out. All the stores in this area will be out. The other thing, we have a paint. We specifically went after a paint manufacturer because what did I recognize? In that whole region, they didn't have not one store with an actual paint mixer. They had to go to town to get. So what did we do? We made sure we partnered with a paint manufacturer. We brought in a paint machine, and now we could supply that whole area that got over 100,000 people with paint and mixed paint and flooring. They didn't have a flooring store up there. We got floor. So I was very strategic in identifying the things that I saw were lacking in that particular community. So I tell people, look, don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. Look with a new lens and just say, oh, really? What is in my circle of influence? And that's how I looked at it. Could I get access to paint? Could I get access to flooring? Who in my circle of influence could I reach out to where I can become? So we're looking at now, right? Remember, I duplicated my service business by going after oil and gas, but I created a product business to participate in the infrastructure development side of it. So I want people to really think strategically.
So you mean that if there's something that I see that's needed, and I know a company that might be a manufacturer or distributor, I don't have to manufacture, I don't have to produce it. I just have to identify, oh, they need this product. Let's say the hospital might need some gowns. So I can go find a partner who is selling or distributing gowns, and I get the contract in Guyana working through Libra management, and then I'm able to create a supply chain.
Yep, and that's what I'm telling people people, think about the brands that are in America that will be interested in going global. Have the conversations. If you have relationships with multinational brands, with large organizations who are looking to scale into different countries. As a matter of fact, Melissa, one of your members, Lisa White, we are doing business together. She has just supplied all my furniture for my store in Guyana. And
Awesome.
I knew Lisa before years ago. I've known Lisa for 15 years. And the same thing, when she found out I was doing business in Guyana, she was like, Stacy, maybe we can do my furniture commercial. I'm like, absolutely. I'll be the first one to showcase it. So literally, I just bought my commercial office furniture for my building from her. And we're looking at how we can create that network. She has access to over 200 furniture manufacturers. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be leveraging White Howard Brands in Guyana to supply commercial furniture. That's how we do it.
Awesome. And this is a Black owned company, our Black and Global member. This is awesome. She is a Black woman owned company. She does furniture distribution for Kimball. She's done the Atlanta airport. She's done medical centers in Georgia. She is a multi-million-dollar business. And wow, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. That we have to get all of our businesses to know, one, that we are doing this kind of business, and two, that you can connect to people even if you don't know how to do it. That's fine. It's enough of us that do. You just bring the talent and the hard work and the long-term vision, because I tell people it's not a short-term game. It's a lucrative
Yeah.
one, but it's not short-term.
Now, Stacy, here's the hard question: capital, and any what's the situation there in terms of being able to get capital? And it looks like it right now from the government. And that's what I'm thinking anyway. I might be totally wrong. What does that look like now? Are they forming foundations that are willing to give people X amount of money for expertise, like you mentioned, engineers, and also management consultants and infrastructure development? How is that money flow there?
Absolutely not. Here's what I tell people. Look, we're Black people, right?
Mm.
Capital is a scarce commodity anywhere we reside, period. End of story. I don't care what anybody tell you. Black people all over the world suffer with the same issue. We're the last to get access to capital. So how do we do it? We have to make a conscious decision that we include, engage, strategically align ourselves to come together to pool resources. My person literally one of my 8A partners is my investor. I self-funded the building we just developed, but I have my very next project that we've already started is a 30-unit luxury townhome community in Guyana, right? Like we've already started infrastructure development on it. I personally could not do that project myself. I was able to do our building myself, but I couldn't do it because that was a much larger project, right? So what did I do? I started talking to, again, the people in my circle of influence. You don't know who has what. And when she reached out to me and said, hey, she's into M&A, she literally said to me, I'm about to buy another business and I'm about to do it. But I thought about you. Talk to me a little bit more about what projects you're working. And she scrapped that project that she was going to purchase another business in America, and she decided to shift that capital here to Guyana and Suriname to do business with me. Government is not trying to help us do anything. Like, I want us to get out of that mindset, y'all. Like, forget about that. Like that thing, I feel like shaking us sometimes. Like, we have to create our own network and access to capital. And it's there, it's circling. I never even knew she had that kind of access to capital, right? And she is my business partner. I brought her to a whole nother country. She started with me in Guyana, and now she's traveling with me to different countries as we look at other opportunities. And there's so many more people like that. We just have to be strategic in order to build the network out.
And the other piece too, Stacy, is if you partner with other people here in the US to deliver your service, because you don't know. So let's say if there's a project you want to deliver on, and the project might be $500,000, and one of you is the service provider, another one is the capital provider, another one is the business manager. You don't know if you get a contract in another country and that contract is going to pay you, right? You need to, but you have to make sure it's a valid contract. Now, we do use the government, Stacy, like we use commercial services for making sure that we have international partner searches, that we check people on the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we check people on the ground. We just went through that in another project, making sure that the actual partners are legitimate. And and so when you put those pieces together and you make sure that that's a valid contract, you get insurance to cover that contract to make sure you're going to receive your payment through XM Bank. I mean, Stacy's done it. We can show you how to do all of that.
Yeah, but that's different as opposed to, because we're leveraging XM, we're leveraging commercial service, but those are leveraging it in the way that they're helpful in you. But when you're talking about access to viable capital to build and develop, that capital stack is really access once there's a feasible opportunity.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you have to really make sure that you have an actual contract, and then you have to have off takers or people who are going to buy from you, and you're clear that someone is purchasing your service. That's the biggest thing. If once you get a purchase order and you are clear that and you've used the U.S. commercial services to make sure that these people are legitimate and they're really going to buy for you, capital will track you. Because people want to make money. I'm telling you, for the people, when you make money and the money is sitting there, you want to do something with it, because it just sitting in the bank is not going to do anything for you. But Absolutely. you want to make sure that you find projects that are actually going to pay, right? You don't want to put your money into a place where you're not going to get paid back. So strategic is the key word, like Stacy said. But you start those conversations, and you'll be shocked at where, what will come to you and what doors will open for you that you never even thought about. Like, I'm just going to give a quick example. Like, for example, critical minerals. I have stayed away from critical minerals. Gold, I don't understand it. I don't want to do the work to understand it. Bauxite, lithium, it's too much work for me, because I at least have to have a working knowledge of it. So I keep telling myself I'm not getting into that area. What do I get a call about? A company that's looking to buy gold. What? Like, now someone, I don't know. I know the company that has come to me, but they said, okay, do you have anybody in your network that can help us connect to someone who's selling this kind of gold? Now, of course, Melissa is going to say yes. Do I know that we have somebody in Black and Global? I don't remember, but with 6,000 people, I figured somebody got to be in the mix. And lo and behold, another member called me and said, I met you 2 years ago at a conference, and I do A, B, C, and D, and I am a gold representative for this family and this country. I was blown out the water. So then we put the commercial services in place to make sure all the parties are legitimate. And now we're actually helping to do a critical mineral. I never knew that. I don't even understand the industry enough. But I know going to the commercial services, they have experts in those areas that, and all it costs us is 700 US dollars. For those experts to make sure that all of the parties are legitimate in order to do that. But that comes from what you're saying, Stacey, where you're talking to people, you're making connections, you're understanding what people are doing. And literally from that conversation, people will come to you with that kind of business.
Absolutely. So I just want to talk a little bit about how we leverage AI in that space. Because I know we're coming down to it. But so one of the other things that I think is really important, there's all these things happening, right? And sometimes it's just you, or you may just have a couple of staff, and it's just a lot to do. And so what I'm trying to teach people now is, how do we really look at AI from a different eye? Not from a fear perspective, but how do we really leverage this awesome tool from strictly a productivity standpoint? What can we learn from AI and the tools that are available through AI, where we can make things easier in our daily business tasking? And so I'm on this mission to teach particularly Black entrepreneurs how they can really fast track their tasking, their efficiency, and getting things done in their business through leveraging the tools available through AI. From very simple things that I think people are not really looking at. And I'll give you a classic example. Melissa talked at the beginning of this segment about government contracting and how she's been teaching her members about government contracting, even herself registered to do government contracting. Well, the number one thing that's required if you're a government contractor, what is the first thing they ask you for when you meet with a government buyer, Melissa? What's like the first thing you got to present when you meet with a government buyer?
Your statements, all of your
Yeah,
statements.
yeah, capability statement, right?
Mhm.
And for years, we've always had to find somebody to help us write a capability statement. A lot of us struggle with it. We got to pay folks to do it. We got to do all of it. We got to tailor make different capability statements for different agencies. We got to have a general capability statement, one for HHS, one for DOD, one for this, one for that. And so the first thing I can teach you how to do is make like the best capability statement in an hour that is a showstopper, and you can make 10 different ones leveraging AI. That headache is gone. Every time you're going to meet with a buyer, you're going to meet with a client, you can just redo that capability statement and strategically place it together for that particular buyer you're going to stand in front of. And so I have an AI training class, a webinar that I teach you while we're on the webinar, how to create a capability. I'm talking about an outstanding professional capability statement in that hour and a half that I spent on you, strictly using AI prompts, leveraging the information that you can immediately after that class upload it to your LinkedIn page. And so these are the kinds of things. We just did another one on pitching. What is your elevator pitch? How do you leverage AI to create your own personal pitch coach, where you can create a live, interactive pitch coaching session with AI, where you're literally pitching and they're acting. The AI is live acting as whatever you tell it to act at. I want you to be a government buyer for ACF in HHS for this industry day on this date. I want you to challenge me and ask me tough questions, and I will pitch to you. I want you to score my pitch. I want you to tell me what works and what doesn't work. I want you to ask me 5 hard questions that I should be thinking about. All this is happening leveraging AI, so that when you go into the marketplace, not only do you have your capability statement, but you literally have already practiced. You've gotten all the hard questions thrown at you, and you're so prepared to do that 5, 8, or 10-minute session that you have in an industry day with a particular buyer. And this works whether it's government, whether it's corporate, and we teach people three different audiences, all right? Your first audience can be that client, that buyer, whoever. Your second audience is an investor. If I now am trying to present a business proposal, a pitch deck, all of that, how do I engage with the investor? And the third one is for strategic partnership. I'm on the phone with Black and Global Business Network with all these wonderful people here who I know nothing about. AI now, I can say, okay, when I meet with folks from Black and Global, I want to create strategic partnerships. How do I engage with another member so that I'm able to have a more in-depth conversation around if there's an opportunity to create a strategic partnership? So you have all the bases covered. So that's the kind of things that I teach. Any questions,
Listen,
comments?
if I say something with that, would that be monopolizing?
No, go
Uh,
ahead. No, listen,
I,
we are a
yeah,
conversational fireside chat. You can definitely ask.
well, and my wife made me come here tonight. I wasn't coming, but she couldn't make it, so she said I needed to come. So I'm glad I did. And Stacy, you're so right, because I have this program for leaders who are people of color, and so I have a course, digital for them, as well as doing executive coaching for them. But before I started that, and I developed this uh, digital course specifically for leaders of color who are in certain organizations, and how they move up and all the problems that they have because they're a person of color. Like, for example, being the only one in the room most of the time. What do you do with that? But before I started that, I had a long talk with AI. And the thing I said to AI, I said, look, there's a political climate that says DE and I is dead.
Mhm.
If I started it, what is the chances that I could develop the infrastructure and get funding and get people to buy into my coaching and into my course? I mean, you should see, after the end of that conversation, there was 15 pages of back and forth with me and this AI agent, or whatever we call them nowadays. It was amazing. So I think, yeah, keep on saying what you're saying, because a lot of people don't understand, and there's fearful and people afraid of AI for good reasons, I believe too.
Yeah,
But at the same
absolutely.
time, I got 15 pages, and I went ahead and hired a VA to help me get that thing started. And me and the VA and my wife, we're moving ahead with a company that I might have just said, no, I'm just going to continue just to do my regular executive coaching and be happy. Um, so
That's
thanks for
great
saying
stuff.
what you're saying.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Yeah, I love it. And Melissa mentioned something earlier that I think it's helpful too, that we should all do with AI, which is use it to really create your strategic plan. She
Mhm.
talked about if you're really thinking about going global, expanding your business, you really need to have a strategic plan. I'm telling you, you can basically tell AI, look, I'm interested in moving into a global marketplace in the next 3 years. can you tell me a step-by-step process where I can learn more about these particular markets and what is the best route of entry for me based on and upload the capability statement I'm going to help you make and say, based on these services that I provide in these industry, I want you to help me map out a 3-year strategic plan for market entry into these particular countries and why, how, and who. So I teach you about prompting, how critical it is to state exactly what you want, how you want it, bit by bit by bit, and then take that information and really leverage it in your business. So I'm excited to come back next month where we get an opportunity to help you create that capability statement. And that's the starting place, right? Where once you create that capability statement, it gives you an opportunity to really map out who you are, what your services are, and then you can move on to different aspects of it. How do I pitch now with this new service document that I have, and then other things. So I'm excited about the opportunity to be here as a first engagement with all you. I'm so grateful that you guys took the time to come to listen to me, and I look forward to how I can feed into you and help you guys to be more productive and strategic in your business endeavors.
And Stacy, I'm so happy you talked about the capability statement because I think some people you don't understand that having the basics right is so fundamental because like having a capability statement is a key part of what we call the foundational documents for our clients that are going through our process. And the tip that you just gave is so fundamental because we tell, first of all, as intelligent people, we do a lot of things. The good for us is we do a lot of things, and the bad for us, we do a lot of things. So getting our people to sell one thing, just one, you can do yes, you can do a million things, but what will get us to contract the fastest? And people get so invested as though when we say focus on this and not on that, as we're excluding that. No, it's the telephone game, meaning you have someone in a different country, if you're going through the commercial services, talking to somebody in a different culture, possibly with a different language, and they have to be able to translate what you do. And if people have to do a lot of work to understand that you sell paint, if they got to do a lot of, they're not going to be buying paint from you. So I love the idea that you just gave because you can, whichever GPT you use, you can create a space for your capability statement so that now you upload it into that space. And anytime you're pitching, whether it's corporate, government, international, private, you can just go into that space and upload the information for that particular project, and then you can recast or redevelop your capability statement to that particular opportunity. I love that. I think that would make it so much easier so that anytime we're going or helping a business to go for an international opportunity, we have to have that level of clarity and specificity, right? And so I think that what you're talking about is just so fundamental and so key. So questions for Stacy. Any more questions that we have for Stacy? Any more questions? So Stacy, when you come back next month, tell us what we're going to do next month.
Next one, I'll actually go through. I'm so glad that you believe that capability statements are really critical tool. So I will literally do the training session on capability statement, teach them how to do it. in the LLMs, and I'll give you the sample, the prompts there. And by the time we're finished with the session, and I have a business partner, Crystal Fleming, that does the training with me, she'll be on with me, and we've taught the class several times, and so we're excited to do it. And I guarantee that when that training is finished, every single person in your network that's on that training will feel very confident to put out a professional, competitive document.
Yeah, and Stacy can help you do it, because I'm telling you, when you explained to me how you set up the transportation business that you did, oh my goodness, my mind was so blown away. Like she built this business for her son. And I'm just like, okay, how are you doing all of this? She said, no, I'm not gonna run this. I built this for my son to run. This is a 7-figure business. I don't have time. She said, I don't have time to work on no 7-figure business. I'm just building this out for my son to run. And like literally in 6 months, literally, she built a whole FedEx
Uh,
delivery,
Amazon, it was Amazon. Yeah, we had
Amazon,
Amazon.
a full service Amazon delivery business, but on a higher scale. She built it out. So, and so when I tell you she can really teach you and help your business grow, because Stacey, when you're talking about these opportunities and the portal that they can access for opportunities in Guyana, right? We want them to be prepared to go into these opportunities and have these capability statements so that they can be very crystal clear, sharp, and focused on these opportunities that are there. So we're very excited about how you're going to help our businesses grow.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Melissa. I'm so proud of the work you're doing. You've stayed true. You're really, really supporting our businesses out here. We need it. We need the people like you who are committed to helping to grow and build Black businesses. And I'm here. I'm on the global side. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all just kind of have the US for right now. I'm just now, but I'm here just really trying to help people expand their mindset and their thinking about how we do business in an ever evolving global economy.
Thank you, Stacy. You were a fantastic speaker. This was a fantastic presentation, just so on time, so timely. We are so thankful. You did an amazing job. So, as I always love to say, first, join us next month. We're going to send out information to all of you about joining us on doing the workshop with Stacy in July, so that everyone can be present and develop your capability statement so that you can access some of these opportunities and work with Libra management. We don't gatekeep. Let me just be clear. You can work directly with Stacy. We're more than fine with that. She can help you. She can support you. Listen, it's too much business in the world for people to be talking about we do everything. We do not. So we bring people to you that we trust, people that we believe can support you. So you go through this training and you can do a strategic partnership directly with Stacy. We're more than fine with that, and we can support you in that process. So with that, as I always love to say, I am your sister and servant, Melissa Muhammad. We are the Black and Global Business Network, globalizing our connections, keeping us in the Black, and we'll see you around the globe. Good night, everybody.
Melissa, I'm wondering if we can get Stacy's information. I don't know if we can put it in the chat as we close down.
Stacy,
Yes.
Stacy, can you put your info in the chat?
Sure, I can. I'm typing it in now.
Okay.
And the other thing, Melissa, and I love this AI, because of course we could get a recording from this session,
right,
and send it to everybody, because I think Stacy gave us some golden information. I'd love to have a record of this, of our talk here. I don't know if that's possible yet.
We do. So you will get, if you registered for tonight's event, you will get a video recording. We actually send this out to everybody. Yeah, we're looking for, as long as you're growing, that's our biggest concern. We just want everybody to grow. So we definitely send this out. And you can reach out to Stacy directly.
Okay.
All right, awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you all and good night.
Hold on, Melissa, let me just say hit
Oh,
send.
you want
I
to put
just,
your,
yeah, I just sent in the chat, I sent my email and my LinkedIn.
okay, cool. All right, it's in there. Does everybody have it?
Not quite.
Okay, take your time.
Wow. I can imagine what your capability statement looks like.
I got plenty of them.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Good night, everyone. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.